Umar Johnson dismisses domestic violence. And I know, and I know Umarians are going to hop on this video, or people are just going to silently watch and not say nothing. Because that's what we've been conditioned to be, a silent, do nothing people, right? And I've stayed relatively quiet for a few days just to listen at the backlash. I mean, not the backlash, but at the responses to the whole video between Diddy and Cassie. And I'm gonna read, and you can go to his page. He posted this. When was this? 3 days ago. And he says, and I'm reading this directly from him. I'm not talking about nothing I made up. He says, I'm not going to give this too much energy, as we have far more important issues to address than what happened 10 years ago, even though it was 8, than what happened 10 years ago. However, this isn't the end for Diddy. TD Jakes will help him set up his own mega church. He will be saved and baptized and will probably make more money as a pulpit pimp. He knows about that. Make more money as a pulpit pimp than he ever has as a mogul. Puffy would rise from the ashes. Hashtag born again. Right? Okay. So, and this has 8,000 likes. 8,000 people. I may like a post, but and not necessarily like it per se, but I'll like it to keep it in my history to go back in case I want to talk about it or say something about it, keep it in my history, so to speak. So let's just say those 8,000 likes and others. But anyway, it's the first line. Oh, before I get to the first line, it is the people in the comments. See, one thing we do, we talk about society, we talk about humanity, we talk about the people in this world, but who make up the world? Us as individuals, each one of us, each one of us. And I kind of hate to say, because we always say this, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than what's happening here. No, it isn't. Because if we were to talk about more serious issues, as I always say, for those ones that say it's a distraction, people love that word. And we did a podcast, and I was talking about people screaming distractions. If we can't talk about the smaller stuff, if we can't deal with these so-called smaller issues, how in the hell do we think we're ready for large issues? How do we think we're ready to take on like the real quote unquote enemy? Whoever the enemy is to you, whatever that issue is, that's bigger. If we can't deal with something smaller, how can we deal with something bigger? That's like if I can't take care of my house, how can I take care of a nation? Right? But I want to read the first part again. I'm not going to give this too much energy, as we have far more important issues to address than what happened 10 years ago. So that right there, let me say, this is not the first time. It's not the second time. And see, I always say this is a litmus test. Like with me, I look at how when there are domestic violence, when there are child abuse allegations, I'm going to use the word allegations, when there are child abuse allegations, when there are SA allegations, I look at the mind and the hearts of the people, right? Because what you say out your mouth is what's in your heart. So when a person dismisses sexual assault, when a person dismisses, and he's not a Charleston White, even though that little toad is also running around just, and we kind of can count on Charleston White to say the most dumbest, shock value type stuff, right? We can count on Charleston White to say the most ignorant things when it comes down to it, because that's what he is. They are what I call AOCs, agents of chaos, right? But for Big Papa, the notorious RBG, the Sean Carter, these shit, all them stuff he just screams out. For him to dismiss this as if, oh, it's something, there's bigger things to talk about. That's nothing. A female getting whipped like a dog. But then he goes on to, and the people wasn't feeling it. Let me say this before I get into that. The people were not feeling it. He lost a lot of respect from a lot of people. But in true manipulating narcissistic fashion, he bounced back. He pivoted back with, then he went to play the colorism game. And when it said, well, if she was a dark skinned woman, well, would that have been, if she was a dark skinned woman, would we have cared? Yes, I would have cared. So that was just his way, because I tell you, the people you follow, the Charleston Whites, the Polites, even though he's xed out, he on the sideline, he's over and done with. The Nature Boys, whoever you can think of is the follower, they know the black mentality. First of all, they know, as one of my brothers always say, that we have a worship gene, that you got a worship gene. You got to find somebody to follow because you don't believe in yourself. So that's not the first time. So in the minimizing, listen to what I'm saying carefully, the minimizing of abuse, the minimizing of abuse of children. He gets, when he talks about the R. Kelly situation, he makes it about the so-called powers that be that wanted his catalog. And even though, guess what? That might have been truth. But listen to how people speak on these topics, right? Listen to how people, because it's like a blip in the road. The only reason he's in jail is because they wanted his catalog. I wouldn't give a damn if he was in jail because he ate the last donut. We so busy, they so busy to get you focused because it's not a week. They so busy to get you focused on why they took them down. If they don't blame you for taking them down, instead of getting you to pay attention to why they got taken down. Am I making sense what I'm saying? Instead of getting you to pay attention to why. We make all of these excuses for pedophiles. Well, you know, he got this going on. Well, okay, then he also made an excuse for Bill Cosby. Now, if you race first and you all in Kobe Bryant and his wife's business, and you worry about where her money's going and why Kobe left her all of this money, well, ain't that considered a bigger fish the bigger important issues? Why is Kobe Bryant's money and where's Kobe Bryant money going more bigger than domestic violence? Because Umar Johnson himself do not respect women. He uses them as photo props. He uses them as he always pay attention to his videos. He talks about crushing cookies. I'm going to crush them cookies. I'm going to do this. He always talks about women in a lower nature sexual manner. But that's okay. And what's more sickening, that make sure I point to the right way, that under these colors, we're supposed to be on code. But there are more followers of somebody under these colors. That's why I always say, stop talking about these Christians. Stop talking about the Christians following the pastor and his mind control, and you following him and his mind control. You know why? Because he bring a crowd. You talking about pulpit pimp. People more so care about you more bringing numbers. You know why? Because that bring more money. That bring higher vending fees. That bring more of this. That bring more attention. We more care about more attention than respect. And it's bullshit. But running around talking about you a Garveyite. Garvey would never. If Garvey was alive, he would denounce. Number one, he definitely would denounce what Umar Johnson is doing. Khalid Muhammad would denounce this clown. And when he's at events, Negroes is running for a photo op with him. What has he done besides run his mouth? What has he done except talk about a school and talk about when he built this? When I build this, when I do this, your pie in the sky. When you die, when I get this. And it's a sham. This is why we can't make it out of this mental psychosis. Because the people that are supposed to be your leaders are mentally ill. Hmm? But y'all will look at me and say I'm problematic and I'm bringing a black man down. You tearing down a black man? No. I'm trying to open your mind, but you too coward to listen. Not listen and follow me, because I'm not nobody to be followed. People are too lazy to do real homework, to pay attention. That he's pushing the line back further and further and further. We're approaching what, 15 years of this school? Oh, he just painted the building the other day. You have eyewitnesses that's not conscious, that's not even representing these colors. I got the direction right this time. That's not even representing these colors. That's telling you. And guess what y'all call? Oh, they hating. Oh, they just jealous. You know what? I get so sick of that notion that when somebody is opening y'all eyes to a Deion Sanders, they jealous. To a LeBron James, oh, they just jealous. That's that bully talk. You know, a lot of times when a child's getting the hell beat out of them by a bully at school, and they say, baby, don't pay them no attention. They just jealous of you. No, stop teaching, stop dismissing serious things. Because we rise up about the wrong stuff and we dismiss the right things. The stuff we supposed to be pissed off about, we dismiss it. This is why. To totally dismiss a woman getting beat like a dog. This is nothing about a racial issue in this manner. Because he had a habit of doing it to Kim Porter. He had a habit of doing it to Justin's mother. He got a habit of, he hung Wale, allegedly, hung Wale over the balcony by his ankles. I forget who car he blew up. And you know what's sick? And I'm talking about Diddy. I ain't talking about Umar Johnson. I'm talking about Diddy. You know what's sick? It is the people. It is the people in the comments talking about, man, Charleston White, he's so right. Y'all are so foolish. Be careful who you follow. Why don't you believe in yourself? Why can't you do something without sitting and listening to somebody else tell you what to think? Yes, I read. I read other people's thoughts. I read other people's opinions. But guess what? I formulate my own. I didn't need to see the video because you know why? My cultural GPS is on 1,000. And my instinct, my intuition is on 10,000. So when you got somebody, a history, that's why I talked about that show. What's the name of that podcast? Hip Hop News Uncensored. And they still trying to play well, just because he got caught with this, I don't necessarily mean I believe all the other stuff. You don't? You don't. Not the other brother, the little stocky one that always just sit and blink his eyes like this. Black men. Black men. What's wrong with y'all? That's why. This is a side effect as to why that they have a black wife effect. And black females are googly over the white boy. Black females are saying, I would rather be in the woods with a bear than to deal with y'all. Because they have been conditioned through the mistreatment, through the dismissal of their abuse. You don't care about them, you call them bitches, you call them hoes, you call them broad, and not to dismiss them because those behaviors have been induced into them. Not to dismiss them. But let's stay focused. You stand up and you say, you the king, you the head of the household. You ask women to submit to you. You ask women to do all of this. You ask women to participate in threesomes. You ask women to participate in what is it, polygyny. You ask women to do, females to do all of these things that benefit you, and when it's time to protect, you say, hey, that's the king of pork and beans, all right? That's the principal. That's the prince of pork and beans. I can't say nothing. Well, what about? And then you start to play this deflect game. Well, what about Shia LaBeouf? Why y'all giving Diddy the? Why y'all giving Diddy the smoke? Don't forget about Shia LaBeouf. Fuck Shia LaBeouf. When are we going to learn? Black people deal with black people issues. They deal with theirs. And if they cross lane over into you, then you deal with it. But now, that's what real kings do. That's what real warriors do. You throw these words around, warrior, king, Asafo, Jagna, all of these high-powered words. And when it's time to do stuff that's connected to them words, we shall overcome. I love you, man. We shall overcome. You know, you mean a lot to me. We shall overcome. I don't want no smoke. But half of you are tyrants in your household. Hmm? And y'all constantly let this man disrespect these colors. Ooh, that boy got the direction. He constantly sits up here and tell you what he gonna do and don't produce nothing, and you scared to ask a question. How? How, Sway? Even the house nigga, Stephen A. Smith, got denounced this. You know it's bad when Stephen A. Smith ain't going for something. And some of it, I ain't gonna lie, I think some of it is overkill. I think a lot of men, and listen, I don't know what's in heart, but this is just my opinion. This is my opinion on this section. I think a lot of dudes that's responding real hardcore, they are responding, number one, to, I'm not gonna say to gain more traction on their podcast, but they're making sure that they sound extra tough and extra protective. Because where was this talk when the allegations was out? Now I get that you had to see it, and seeing is believing. Ain't that what they say? Seeing is believing. But everything that chick said he was doing, he did it in that video. Slim Thug was trash. Then Slim Thug made he made a bitch move. This was a bitch move on him. He sit there and he typed his damn Diddy. I was still trying to be with the black man. That's why I said mental homosexuals. I'm gonna learn y'all that word. Mental homosexuals. I don't care what a male do. I don't care what your partner do. You stand by, like Tammy Wynette. You stand by your man. That's gay. The sick part is you convict the female without proof and exonerate him with proof. You know why? Because a lot of these dudes are still unhealed. I keep telling you, these books are not the savior. They wake you up. They are tools to wake you up. But if you ain't done that internal shadow work, you might as well be reading blank pages. And your output indicates a lot of times that I think y'all are reading blank pages. Because think of whoever I'm gonna leave it up to you. Think of you, the most respected warrior you can think of, whether it's Nana Malcolm X. Remember I said Nana is wise or great teacher. Nana. Whether it's him, Khalid Muhammad, Steve Coakley, Patrice Lumumba, whoever you want to name on yours, how would you think they would speak to domestic violence? It does affect you. And I see so many sick people in the comments. Man, they faking because this go on every day in households, and that's the problem. That it goes on every day in households, and nobody does nothing. The women are conditioned, the females are conditioned to take the whoopings. The homeboys are conditioned to turn their head and rationalize why he whooping on his woman. But for somebody that says he got the highest conscious level of everything, everybody, it ain't nobody in this world, according to him, that's on his level. And it's bullshit. You know why? Because his whole get up is having degrees from the system. Don't y'all learn the con game? All y'all street cats, all y'all street folks, males and females, and y'all don't know a con man when y'all see one. I wouldn't trust that nigga to watch to watch my cats. Let alone send your children to a fictitious school. Oh, you didn't get it when I said when the brother Q Butter proved and said publicly, Umar Johnson had the police called on me at a Khalid Muhammad event. What is it gonna take? Why do we do that? Let's get to the question. Because I'm gonna say it's bigger than him. It's bigger than him. Let's get to the point of why we allow that. I got something written on my board right here. It says, "What makes a woman?" And I asked this from a female. I didn't ask myself. First of all, I asked a few females, and look, you'd be surprised at the answer I got. It says, "What makes a female stay in an abusive relationship?" And this wasn't even pertaining to no Diddy or nothing. It says, "Question: What makes a woman stay in an abusive relationship?" Answer: fear. It don't mean face everything and run. It don't mean false evidence appearing real. No, it was real him whooping on her. It was real. So, and I gotta check this out. This is what I heard, but I trust the source where it came from. There was a friend of mine, she was telling me about Freddie P. And if anybody know this, like I'm always saying, I need to check it. But she was saying Freddie P from Making the Band was speaking, right? And she said, when he was in Making the Band, he was kind of young and hot headed. And Diddy didn't like that. It's kind of like he was looked at as a leader or in a leadership position in the Making the Band group. Look how he treated them, made them walk with cheesecake. But they ended up getting into back and forth. And she said that he said that Diddy threatened him. And said when you have a million or a billionaire threatening you, it is different. It is different than a regular average Joe. He said he grew up around street cat. You know, he ain't worried about that. He's really about what he talking about. Okay, my partner said Freddie P said facts. All right. So okay, so I got confirmation. So she goes on to tell me, she says, he told Freddie P something to the nature of he got money to buy every house on his block and wait for him and take him out. Now this is a man. He allegedly held Wale. Okay, my bro said he's seen it. He's seen the interview. Now this is a man. And you simples in the comments talking about, well, listening to Charleston White, listening to the old one eye. Yeah. Hold up. Yeah. I don't know which eye it is. Yeah. See, I'm there. Yeah. And y'all follow him and say, Charleston White's thinking the truth. The TROOF, truth. The truth ain't in that nigga. Yeah, we see how tough he was. That dude put the balls on his ass in that barbershop, didn't he? Who did he stand behind? The very female. He stood behind his woman. But you get your ass up here, you get your one-eyed ass up here and say stuff like that. You hid behind that woman when that dude was putting that kid on your ass, wasn't you? Yeah? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you did. Tag Charleston. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm? If we gonna be about the truth with a TH, let's be about it. Now, if I respect a man more, I respect a dude more. If he say, hey, I get down, I don't care nothing about a woman getting jumped on. But don't fake kick it. I hate fake kicking it. Don't fake kick it, and then if it's you and yours, you upset. But when it's somebody outside, you don't care nothing about it. You say, oh, she ain't gonna do nothing but go back. And 9 times out of 10, guess what it is? That's what the abuser does. That's what the abuse does. Because you know why? Same thing with America. How many of y'all don't want to lead? How many of y'all don't want to lead these abusers in America? Hmm? How many of y'all rationalize the white boys' abuse? How many of y'all? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You rationalize the white boys' aggression. And this is why. Let me show you another. Let me show you another notion as to why black females look at this dude, look at the white boys as white savior. Because who was the one that told Cassie to stand up? Hmm? Who was the one? And he put a matter of fact statement out about his woman. Because it's still your mind is still ingrained in slavery. The same reason they wanted integration is the same reason that these sisters are looking over there. Protection and safety. Because the notion go that the white boy told her, hey, stand up, be strong. While Negroes like Slim Thug say, hey, well, how could you be, how you talk, dumbass, how you gonna wear the loyalty, the loyalty, loyalty. How you gonna be in the bed with me and then wake up and tell? Ridiculous. That's why I'm talking ridiculous, because it is ridiculous that we have been so conditioned through what? Wow. Read this. Hold on, let me move my finger. Edward Bernays. Read up. Read a book, motherfucker. Read a book. Tell Charleston to do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't learn to smoke weed for smokers only. He put everything he did on his gullible ass. He said he didn't learn to smoke weed. Charleston White, I'm talking about the one-eyed tadpole on this one. He didn't learn to smoke weed until he heard Bone Thugs and Harmony for smokers only. That means you was an impressionable nigga. Cause I heard them same songs. And that's not what encouraged me. Hey, what's up, fam? How you doing? I'm all right. Baptizing jigaboos. I'm all right. How you doing? How you been? He he makes you think that King Von, a young cat, King Von was the worst person in the world. Now that's for your judgment, right? He got all of this where he disrespect. I hope all GDs die like Nipsey Hussle. Now, you sat in Nipsey Hussle's family face. You played in his family face. And then you disrespect his name. You disrespect the dead. He ain't talk all that stuff while King Von was alive. That's a misguided young homie. That's a product of his environment. That's a misguided young homie. You disrespected Gilly the Kid's dead son. Right? And this is what y'all say real. Y'all say stuff because y'all believe whatever that dude say out his mouth, it's a gang of jigaboos that's gonna join and say, oh, that's the truth. The TROOF. Truth. That's not. You're an old man. Act such. You're an older man. Yes, my love. Hang on one second. Okay, it's all right. Because I told him to stop messing with the stuff while I'm doing my here you go, hair. My baby. Right. Okay. Father duty. Father duty. Father duty. Let me say it again. Like. So ask you more about father duty. He can tell you about everything else. He can't tell you about father duty though, can he? Even though this is about him, it's about these type of people that are infecting the community. Even though the title is about him, it's bigger than him. Because there's a safe space for con men, liars, thieves that's telling y'all that they are your leaders. Now, I ain't no Deion Sanders fan. I'm not on the prime train. But he can go on Cam Newton and destroy Deion Sanders. Now, a lot of what he said, because guess what? I might hate the person, but I'm not a hater. Now, how you gonna do that? How you gonna hate the person but not a hater, oh boss? I'm glad you asked that question. I'll tell you why. Because I might hate how they are. I might hate their whole get down. I might hate the way they tie their shoes. But if they say something truthful, I said, yeah, that's for real. Did he have 2 pseudo marriages? He did, bro. I'm glad you brought that up. Somebody said, did Umar have 2 pseudo marriages? Whatever happened to that? See, that's how he catch you. That's how he con y'all. That's a good question. He had it to where he married 2 females. He was supposedly married 2 females. A game. Where the chicks at? Where are those sisters? Because him, much like Charleston White, they play on short-term memories of the people. Charleston White done said so much stuff that people can't even keep up with it. Mass psychosis. And women say, hey, I want a bath. No, I ain't going that far. I don't want to be in the wood. I'm bad and I don't even want to be in the wood no wild bear. I tell you that much, Jack. But that is to speak to the condition of society where our females are so conditioned, because that's what I'm always going to point to, because of what? Propaganda by Edward Bernays. This is also on audio. Listen. Check it out. This is also on YouTube audio. Oh, my man, I don't want to be in no wood with no bear. I ain't messing with no bear. I ain't gonna lie to you. I want to be in the wood, no lion, no tiger, no bear. And I love cats. And probably could tame them. But I ain't gonna jump out here and try it. I ain't gonna tell you that. But no, on a serious note, how does this happen? How does time and time again, let's get serious. How does time and time again these cats come into your hood, purport to be your leader, take your money, mess with your children? Look at what Nature Boy was allowed to do. I spoke on Nature Boy. I was called a hater. Where's Nature Boy? I spoke on Polite. I was accused of being divisive. Where's Polite? I'm speaking on Umar and Sugar Daddy in Cat's ears. Sugar daddies is in brothers and sisters' ears. Hmm? My record is undefeated when I'm calling out these people. You know why? Not because I'm a know-it-all. I learn something new every day. I'm never the smartest person in the room. I'm a very smart man, but I'm never the smartest person in the room. But I got intelligence enough to listen to people around me. But my instinct tell me, that these guys are full of it. As soon as they coming, after he made that post, after Umar makes that post, and let me read it again for the people that just hopped on, because the topic is Umar Johnson. What did I say? Dismisses domestic violence, and this is what I say. Yeah, I'm on a black man because we deal with ours. Let me find the post again. Just be patient with. Just be patient. Okay. It says, I'll show you right here. Where that? Efat Tunde. All right. So y'all know where I'm getting that from. Directly from the horses page. I'm not going to give too much energy as we have far more important issues to address than what happened 10 years ago. Can't count. But y'all gonna send it to your school. However, this isn't the end for Diddy. TD Jakes will help him set up a mega church, and TD Jakes spoke against domestic violence. Power bottom Jakes. No, stay focused, Obasi. I will get the power bottom Jakes. Don't let me forget about power bottom Jakes. TD Jakes will help him set up his own mega church. He will be saved and baptized, and will probably make more money as a pulpit pimp. We know you know about that than he ever has as a mogul. Puffy will rise from the ashes. Hashtag born again. And the end is sarcasm. And that's what the person was at. They was like, y'all don't understand sarcasm. Is that the time to be sarcastic? See, this is our problem. We don't know when to be serious. You can joke in your stuff. I'm joking in this. But this is a serious matter. You tell me one domestic violence situation that's funny. What if he would have killed that girl kicking her like that? We laugh at the wrong shit. Right? But wasn't this the brother? I got a lady friend that told me. She said this the same dude that said Cardi B is black. That took up for Erica Miller. So wait a minute. This the one that was jumping out there. What did he take a picture with Sukiyama? Sukiyama told her she wanted to give him some of that Suki. Go ahead, sweetie. Fatherhood. Go ahead, baby. Yeah. But he jumps on that. Power bottom Jakes. Have you ever been swallowed up, Jakes? Have you ever gone through a time of swallowing, Jakes? Got up there and spoke about against domestic violence. And said the person that go through that need to get help. And before I get out of here, Cameron, hey, y'all gonna see it. They gonna learn to stop putting the wars on that TV. And I'm not mad at Cameron's interview because number one, okay, this is what it is. We must learn to speak to the conditions. We must learn to speak to the conditions and not shame and overkill. Even though you shame them and speak to the conditions, because I felt like Cameron caught a lot of backlash, and I had to listen to understand before I just responded. See, that's an art that we need to learn. And I felt like the whole thing was to get a black man on here on CNN on a national televised program and just make it all about him, right? That's why I said we have to learn the art of speaking. We have to learn the art of context. We have to learn the art of when we saying something and how much to say. And Cameron started off by denouncing it flat out. Once you denounce it, to me, you in the clear. Whether you mean it or not, now that's up to you. And the chick kept digging. She kept asking, and what you really can applaud him on is because he said that Mace was under him with Puff more than he was. He was signed to him, not me. So that showed me he's not just gonna speak on things he don't know about. I'm not just gonna speak to speak. And he got up off of there. But the more important part, he denounced it and said, yo, I ain't down with none of that trafficking. I ain't down with none of that. And that's what we need to hear. The code should be black men, whether you mean it or not, publicly, you need to be on code. Because them racist rednecks, they speak on code. You saw Jerry Jones doing the protest. He tried his old ass out there and pretended he was down with it. This is how they pimp you. They'll pretend they down with your cause publicly, but privately they'll speak a whole nother thing. Now, how you speak privately, that's your business. But to the world, we need to see black men in solidarity with situations of domestic violence, even if it's not our women. Because if we send a message about other women, we're going to show them how serious we are if you fuck with ours. These women birth your children. They could die birthing your children. These women cook your meals. But you know why Umar can't speak about some of these things? Because that's his get down. He can't speak about fatherhood. He's got daughters. I don't know how many, but I do know out of his mouth at the time he had 2 daughters. Now I don't know what he got now. Some say 3. But at the time, he had 2 daughters. But you leave women to be single mothers. So you can't speak. That's why when he go on Nick Cannon, he's talking about everything else, but making single mothers. Because he can't speak about that. What are the requirements? You that's listening to this video, what are the requirements for somebody to lead you? How could they lead you when they don't even care about their own family? How could they bring awareness and help other children when they don't even help theirs? He's fat. He out of shape. And y'all thinking this is a serious warrior? He don't speak on serious warrior business. He talks that feel good preacher talk. That's how he know to talk about a pulpit pimp in that post. Because he just been pimping since been pimping. Come on with it, Powder. and flunkies, you butt plugs are the ones that sprinkling the powder. And I'm not talking to nobody specifically. I'm speaking to the mentality. So if you ain't even got the mentality, guess what? I ain't even talking to you. I'm not talking to nobody specifically. I'm speaking to the mentality of cowardly dudes. We showed cowardice when that little boy stretched that dude out for hitting his mother. And we had black males talking about she need to be locked up because she violated the white man's law. And Farrakhan said in a speech when killing Malcolm, we don't care about no white man's law when you kill what we love, when you attack what we love. But like I told you, when it comes time, y'all get on that, we shall overcome. Damn, I miss you, man. We shall overcome. You gonna tweet me. We shall overcome. Peace. And I'm not talking about just kicking up dust being reckless. Because love is war and war is love. Love makes you fight, or it should. And you fight because you love. Why do you think Terrence Crawford get in that ring? because he always, number one, it's a good incentive. Appreciate it. How you doing? Why do you think they get in that ring? Because they had a love for it. You don't get in nothing that, at least I don't. I don't get in nothing that I just kind of like. I have to love it. No matter how people might not like what I'm saying, guess what? It's love that make me get up here and speak about this. Because as I'm scrolling and I'm looking at this, the black wife effect is sickening to me. It's sickening to me that our women find more safety in the colonizer than in her own reflection. And you should be tired of it too. And I'm talking to my fellows because I don't address women. I have conversations with them, but it's not my job to address the sisters. That's for other righteous sisters. That's for other warrior sisters. That's for the lionesses to do. That's what's wrong with us. We so busy talking to everybody else. Sisters telling brothers how to be men. Fellas telling sisters how to be women when we don't have experience in being either. I know what it's like to be with women, but I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I wouldn't even want the stress. I wouldn't even want the stress of birth. So I know the condition because guess what? I read about the condition through what? I'm gonna plug it again. And this is just one. You also can look up the Tavistock Institute by John Coleman. Look this stuff up. I give y'all these names. I give you a Edward Bernays. I give you an Albert Bandura. They got you so convinced that you did it to yourself. That's a pimp. They got you convinced that it's your fault that you programmed. So let's just be solid. Get on. We always talking about the black code. What is a black code? When we can't even address the people that's destroying the community or pimping the community in this case. And if you don't like what I say, Goody Mob has a song. I'm ATL in. If you don't like what I say, fly away, fly away. You ain't gotta like it. That's what's wrong. You always worry about if you like something. I don't care if you don't like me. Am I lying? Respect me. That's what I care about. But am I lying with what I'm saying? That's why I always say, if I'm incorrect, hit my comments respectfully. Hit my comments. But somebody got to use their masculinity for righteousness. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm out. And I hope I was able to get y'all to teach y'all something, get y'all to think. But you got to do better. Peace.